thanks everyone for joining. My name is Tony McCormick. I'm the CEO and founder of Joulica, and along with Joe Smith, Joulica CTO. And we're lucky today to be joined by Dennis Parker as well from AWS. And so the agenda, maybe Joe, if you just move to the next slide. So the webinar today is all about how the combination of Joulica and Amazon Connect provides superior customer experiences, primarily during, from a Joulica perspective at least, through data-driven insights. As I mentioned, I will be, along with Joe, providing a lot of the Joulica material, and then Dennis is going to provide an overview and some really interesting information around Amazon Connect. The overall agenda, Joe, if you go to the next slide, is the latter half of the webinar is going to be focused on a demonstration. We're going to try and leave as much time as we can for that. And it will be very much a solution level demo combining both Amazon Connect and Joulica. And hopefully at the very end, we'll have as much time as possible for some Q&A. For anyone who wants to ask a question, just put it into the chat window. We'll probably leave most of them to the end, but if there's some we can deal with during the presentation and demonstration, we will. But we will get to them at the end of probably right after the demonstration. And so with that, I think Dennis, you're going to lead by covering the Amazon Connect materials. So listen, thank you again for joining us on this webinar. It's a real pleasure to get you on this. So over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, Tony. I just had a message to say I think the chat might be disabled, if we can check that.
Okay.
In the session. But yeah, so thanks. So again, just to echo, my name is Dennis Parker. I'm responsible for the Amazon Connect partners here at AWS, and I have the privilege and pleasure of working with Tony and Joe and the guys at Joulica. So what I want to do is just take you on a little story, really, a little journey. So Amazon Connect as a contact center solution was born out of our Amazon retail business. So years and years ago, we went out to market looking for a contact center solution that would satisfy the needs of an ever-changing consumer ecosystem, really. So we didn't know what our customers necessarily wanted all the time. So we went out to market, we couldn't find what we needed, so we built our own, which turned into Amazon Connect. We come to market with the solution pretty much 6 years ago now. So it's almost exactly 6 years old. The advantage and what I'm going to take you through is what we're seeing in the market around data-driven insights in CX, how Amazon Connect can deal with that, and then supplemented by what the team at Joulica can do off the back of it. So 60% of the contact centers are still on-premise today. So there's still a large amount of the contact centers that haven't moved to cloud yet. Cloud transformation is obviously a huge driver in the market at the moment. We also see a big play around digital transformation, which is still happening. So I've been in the contact center space myself for around 18 years now. And we still kind of talk about digital transformation. And to flip that, if you look at post-pandemic, CX transformation happened. Like, how do I meet my customers with what they need, where they want to be met on different channels? How do I know what they really want? And Amazon Connect gives you a set of solutions that allow you to use that AI, use that to drive personalized interactions with your end customer. So I'll give you an example from an analytics example. If I were to ring Joe for a password reset, pretty standard contact center requirements. So I rung Joe because I need to reset my password because I want to potentially look at remortgaging or taking out a new loan. Historically, the vast majority of call closure tags against that interaction would have been, okay, password reset. And what's actually happened there is I've seen that I'm actively a buyer in the market. And I've seen that I've missed an opportunity to upsell to my incumbent base, create that stickiness for my customers. And that's just one example of where we can use those data-driven insights within Amazon Connect to help you support your consumers and your customers to drive better outcomes. Amazon Connect itself, when we talk about innovation, we give you the ability to take your roadmap into your own hands. And the example I gave you there, you could switch on analytics within Amazon Connect. You could use it to look at your top 10 reasons for call last week. You could visualize all of those statistics in the Joulica solution, but you could use it for a week. You pay for it for a week and you turn it off. And you don't pay for it anymore. So it's pure pay-per use. And the final example on pay-per-use really is if we use these data-driven insights to deflect interactions. So if I knew that 4% of my interactions could be handled via deflection to a different channel, if next month my bill would be 4% cheaper, so you can instantly relinquish that saving in the solution. So can you flick to the next slide, please, Joe? So I think just on this one, really, really quickly, we give you the ability to take the configuration into your own hands. So it's all self-service. Everything you need from us is there. You don't need to ring us at AWS to switch anything on for you. It gives you the ability through the examples I've just said to deliver dynamic and personal interactions for your end customer. And everything at AWS, you have the access to the entire suite. So if you think about our AI and ML and our generative AI solutions out there in the market, you can use these to feed into your contact center solution. So when we talk about customer journey mapping, we truly have the ability to surface all of those insights from across your base and use that to inform your decisions to drive revenues or increase and create a consistent CX interaction. Last slide, please, Joe. And then I think to just finish off on this one, so I made the point that Amazon Connect is 6 years old. I've been at AWS for just about 2 years now, so a third of its life. I've spent in this role developing the partners to deliver Amazon Connect. 3 years ago, we were listed as a contender. And then working at AWS, you knew what we were doing behind the scenes. And we've seen now from the Forrester Wave report released just recently that we're now listed as a leader in this market, which within 6 years is an amazing achievement for us. And we keep developing the solutions to satisfy the ongoing requirements of our customers. So on that, I'd love to hand back over to the Joulica team to carry on with the session. No worries, Tony.
If you just go to the next chart, please, Joe. And for everyone's benefit, the Q&A section at the bottom there, that is working. So if anyone has any questions, just use that. The chat, I think, is disabled at the moment. So just to maybe bring you into the Joulica world for a couple of minutes. So as Dan mentioned, Amazon Connect has a really comprehensive set of features across the whole contact center domain, everything from core routing, through cases, through speech analytics, all integrated into one platform. And what we do in Joulica is take all the data that those various features generate, along with other data sources in the enterprise, and we integrate and correlate and aggregate across those to give you meaningful insights. And we do that both in real time and historical. And if you just focus on the right-hand side of this chart, one of the first things that almost everyone has to deal with and manage as part of a contact center transformation project is migration from a legacy, quite likely on-premise environment. And that on-premise environment has most likely been in your network, your environment for many, many years, sometimes decades. And there is a rich and often high dependency on the reporting and analytics that on-premise application provides, all the way from the types of metrics it supports, the dashboards, the reports, and even some of the nuances of how those metrics behave in certain scenarios and so on. And so what we do in Joulica is we ease that migration burden by giving you a familiar data model. When you move on to Amazon Connect, the metrics, the reports and dashboards can behave the same as when you were using your on-premise environment. So how service level is defined, how occupancy is defined, the intervals at which you have aggregated metrics in your historical reports, they can all be consistent with the on-premise or the legacy system you're migrating from. And once you obviously have that level of parity, then you can start utilizing the full benefit of the transformation capabilities that Amazon Connect provides. Naturally, we provide very flexible real-time and historical KPIs across the full Amazon Connect solution. And during the demonstration, you'll see that that ranges from the core agent and queue metrics that you expect through case management metrics, through detailed insights on how Lex is behaving for like containment and other type use cases, and all the way at the top to customer journey analytics. So as you start really trying to meet your customers on their terms and map out their journeys and make those journeys as efficient and as optimal as possible, we provide the analytics to allow you to get data to drive those types of investments and those types of projects that continually try and optimize those journeys. On the left-hand side, just to maybe give you a quick demo preview, you're going to see a lot around the flexibility we provide around real-time and historic analytics. We're going to give you a lot of examples of how we use QuickSight, way beyond just the core QuickSight ability to produce really nice historical reports. We'll show how we've embedded it in Joulica and really build a seamless experience across unified real-time and historical analytics. You'll also see we have a really nice integration with Salesforce Service Cloud. You know, that's underpinned by the fact that Service Cloud Voice uses Amazon Connect for the voice channel, and hence it avails of Amazon Lex, Contact Lens, all of the powerful speech analytics capabilities that Amazon Connect provides for Service Cloud Voice, but also the Service Cloud channels themselves. So Salesforce Email, Salesforce Chat, they can all be integrated with the analytics we provide side by side and integrated with the Amazon Connect channel itself. I've covered the migration use case. We have a really good integration with high volume outbound. So if you're running predictive campaigns using Amazon Connect's predictive outbound capabilities, we give you the insights and the analytics you need to manage and maintain and optimize those campaigns, ending with customer journey. Our solution, it's cloud native, it's built on AWS. We use the technologies you would expect in a streaming application. So we make heavy use of Kinesis, Kafka. It's a container-based environment running on Amazon's Elastic Kubernetes service. And it uses technologies like Elasticache to give us that real-time streaming analytics performance that you'll see during the demonstration. If you go to the next slide, please, Joe. So at its core is we cover all of the features that we have a practice of keeping up to date. So if something has been released in the last 3 to 4 months, we'll generally have a set of analytics and KPIs for that feature. We will be releasing support for evaluations, for example, very soon. But all of the core features of Amazon Connect is covered on the left-hand side. And what we do within our platform behind the user interface layer is we're taking all of the data streams that Amazon Connect provides, everything from contact events to agent event streams to cases streams, the contact lens data, which is also available by Kinesis, but also stored in S3, CloudWatch, a lot of different data sources. And our engine is taking those, correlating and aggregating, and then presenting it in primarily 2 different ways on the right-hand side. On the bottom there, you'll see lots of real-time dashboards across the Connect solution during the demo. And above it then, we also, for historical reporting purposes, we're always pushing that data on an interval basis, typically every 30 minutes, to a persistent data storage mechanism. And then you can use tools like QuickSight to produce the historical reports that you need. If you want to use Power BI or other BI tools, you can. And we publish our data model, and we even document how you can use tools like Power BI to produce the reports that you need. You just go on one, Joe, please. But we go one step further with QuickSight in particular. We are able to take QuickSight visuals and embed them within our own environment. And what's shown here on the right is where the regional NPS visualization there, that's an embedded widget like any other widget in Joulica, but this time that's a QuickSight embedded widget that we've taken out of the QuickSight platform and embedded seamlessly within ours. And that's more or less a drag and drop experience. Once you create your visualization in QuickSight, effectively you can paste it into the Joulica dashboard. And that opens up a whole set of really interesting features where you can now visualize and interact with data in a unified way in real time and historical. So you can look at trends, you can look at instantaneous values, all on a single pane of glass, and navigate very seamlessly between them. And you'll see some examples of that during the demonstration. And then the only thing I'll mention here is that, and I think you'll see it during the demonstration as well, we can take external data in very flexible as well. So if you have data in another data source, or maybe existing on a data stream, maybe it's even on Kinesis, we can integrate that relatively easily through some configuration and pop it alongside any of the other data you want to see in your contact center. And there's all sorts of interesting use cases there that you can start exploring, where access to real-time data from the wider ecosystem can really aid your decision making. Thanks, Joe. I think that's the last chart. Yeah, so perfect. So I think that's the end of the PowerPoint. I think Joe now probably has 15 to 20 minutes of a demo, and we should have maybe 5 minutes for Q&A. And I'll keep an eye on the Q&A window as the demo's progressing. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Dan. Okay, I'll just close out of this. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to start the demo with an example of a supervisor dashboard. So what we have along the top here are, different queuing metrics for channels. So we have voice, email, chats. Oops, bumped out of it. Oh. Apologies for that. Voice, email, chat are all being displayed in billboards across the top. We can set thresholds for each of these. So we have thresholds, and we can set values or different colors associated with those thresholds. And of course, everything is movable and changeable along the top here. So just beneath that, what we have is a 24-hour view of what's happening in our queues at the moment. And every 30 minutes, we have two windows, we have 24-hour and 30 minutes, and we can push that data out to RDS, and from that we can build historical reports. And as Tony mentioned, we're going to be going through some quick site reports at the end. So I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller. I'm just going to show how we can add a new widget. I'm just going to come in here, and we're going to pick the queue. Comes back with a set of default measures. I'm going to get rid of one of those, and I'm going to go for the offered measure. So just get rid of some of these. Yeah, there's offered. And it comes back with real-time information. It shows us the different offers on different queues. And I'm just going to publish this. It just shows how you can customize your dashboard to your own needs or your own visualizations. Just to the right of that, we're just showing that we've integrated with post-call survey results. So we've taken NPS data, and then we've broken that down by agent. And then just beneath this, we have two different visualizations, one just showing abandons in the queue, or similarly, what we've done is this time it's abandons by state, so abandons in queue or abandons in ringing. And then to the right of that, we have agent performance metrics. So these are all the agents on my team. Here is the current state they're in, the duration they've been in this state. You can see typical contact center metrics like average handle time. You can see I can set thresholds in these visualizations as well. I have average talk time. And then what I've done here as well is supplemented with this with the information coming in from Contact Lens, like sentiment, silence, customer interrupts. So giving you a more comprehensive view of what's happening in agent level and demonstrating that we can combine multiple of those features that are coming in from Connect. So just show a bit more customization. What I'm going to do is just delete some of this detail, and I'm going to make that table bigger. So again, if you want to make changes, customize it to your own use, you can create a new dashboard from scratch. You can share a dashboard with different users. Those users can copy and alter the dashboard as necessary. If you want it for another purpose, like a wallboard, what you can do, come in here, you can change fonts. Let's say we'll go for extra large and extra large. Publish that. Okay, and of course you can change and alter, filter as necessary, and hide data if you want to. So he's showing you can completely customize this as necessary. And when you've created something you're happy with, as I said, you can share that with other teams. We also have a data authorization capability. So what we can do is we can restrict what you can see on any shared dashboards. For example, I could say only agents belonging to my team can see a dashboard. So, or I can see, maybe say only queues belonging to, that I'm managing can see my dashboard. So that might be particularly useful in an outsourcer arrangement. So the next dashboard I want to show you is an example of maybe a wallboard. So it's much the same information we had before. Here again, we have our agents. We have the different state they're in. Over here, we have the different channels and queuing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a live call here. And what we're going to see is it updating in real time. I've set the threshold low here. So what's going to happen is this is going to increment by 1. It's going to change red while it's queuing. And then when I answer it, it's going to go back to blue. And then this is going to increment when I answer it on the agent desktop. So I'm just going to come into my agent desktop now. There we go. You can see here, this is my agent state here, and it's reflected over here in the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a call here. Hopefully you can hear that.
Welcome, Joe. Thank you for calling. Please select your preferred language.
So I'll just go to the IVR menu. Okay, we'll see that's updated there. Let's take that off speaker so we're not hearing the music on hold. Another interesting feature we have here is if I come over back to this table, what you can actually do is change the agent state via the table. So again, maybe if this might be useful for supervisors, if an agent has forgotten to log out at the end of the day, I can come in here and change the agent state. So what I'm just going to do is make that agent available. If I come back here, you can see their state has updated. And if I accept the call, this is going to go back to blue and this is going to increment here. And I'm just going to mute this so we don't get feedback. And what you can see here again is our agent state has updated. You can see we're on the contact and the duration we're on the contact. So another thing I would like to maybe show here is maybe just jump into another integration we worked on was cases metrics. So if I just come over here we have a cases dashboard. We've developed multiple different metrics for cases. Here we have cases created, cases closed, broken down by status. We have transitions in cases, closed by reason. So a lot of different metrics. So what I'm just going to do is going to open, I'm going to create a new case. Just in a second, go to my cases tab. And I'll just create a new case. So I'm just going to create it for the call we already have. Drag this over a bit more. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick fault. And I'm going to get it. And I'm going to give a case reason. So I'm just going to go, let's say, detected. And I'm just going to submit that case. So we're going to see here is this is going to increment over here when the case is open. So, and what I'm going to do, so I think that's incremented now, and I'm going to change the agent stat or the status here. So I'm just going to go maybe to in process. Okay. I think I've been logged out of my screen here. Just a second. Okay, so that's unfortunately I got logged out when we joined the meeting. So that's gone in process. I'm just going to maybe make that on hold. So we've gone from in process to on hold. That's updated. And I'm just going to close out the case. We're going to see this is going to increment, and we've gone from on hold to closed has incremented down here as well. Now, also, we can see that, again, that the fault case has updated here, and we can see we have fault over here for a 24-hour view, and it's closed out with fault detected. So again, just showing a different integration, with the other features inside Amazon Connect. Okay. Here is an integration. So we've automated with conversational AI, in particular Lex, coming from Connect. And here we've a different IVR analytics. So we can see the total number of interactions that came in. We can see the overall percentage automated. We can see the percentage abandoned. We can see the percentage queued. So that's escaped out from our contact flow and are being queued to agents, the average pre-queue time and the average handle time. So down here, it's an interesting visualization. So we can see where the contacts started coming in. So they came in through a retail contact flow that's running on Connect. We have two types of channels coming through our Joulica bank bot here. We can see that they've come through Joulica bank bot, and here are all the different intents that were expressed inside the bot. And then here to the right are the slot where the call has failed out. So a slot is where a customer has been asked to either enter a date or make a decision, and for one reason or another they've failed out. Maybe either entering an amount, entering a PIN, entering a date, maybe selecting a bill type. So you can drill back and see where you're having those problems. It highlights why are your customers escaping the automation, and then you can use this to kind of help debug the chatbot and try and improve these numbers so customers aren't having problems and failing out. So the next visualization just want to show is kind of a 10,000-foot view of similar to the last one, except this time we have multiple different contact flows here. So here in this light blue, we have multiple contact flows. Here we can see all the different channel types that are coming through. And then in orange, we can see intents. So we have multiple intent journeys here. And then in green, we have the outcome, whether the contacts were automated, abandoned, maybe queued here in green. And then we combined our post-call survey results so we can see how well customers are perceiving each of these journeys. So you can use a view like this maybe to drill down and get some deeper level insights. So let's say if I select voice here, I can see the level of automation for voice compared to maybe web chat. I can jump into a particular intent. So here, let's say we take the pay bill intent. We can see where it came from. We can see the flows that came through, the different channel where each of the intents started. So one intent started here with balance onto pay bill. And if I drill down a bit further, I can go into the payee. So that was the slot they failed out on. And then I can see the percentage of abandoned versus queued from that slot failure. And again, I can drill backwards as well and just see all the most successful journeys and where they started and the path and flow that they made through our system. Another visualization I want to show you is here we have multi-connect. So again, this is just demonstrating we can combine information from multiple different connects. In this case, we have 3 connects. We have one in West, we have one in Central, we have one in East, and we've segmented all the data in this columnar fashion. So showing that you can combine multiple different connects into one pane of glass, or we can combine multiple connects into a single widget. So for example, if I delete Central here, make East bigger. If I come into here, and change the filtering options here so I can combine Central. If I publish that. Okay, so now we can see that we have information from Central and East all on one widget. So again, just showing us the flexibility that you can combine and merge information into a single pane of glass, or indeed a single widget. Okay. The next integration is with speech analytics, in particular contact lens. So here we've taken information, we've taken the call categories, effectively the call drivers into the system, and we've combined them with the NPS score. We've broken that down. So here we can see all the different categories that were identified by contact lens, pay bill, network issues, login issues, and then seeing how well customers perceive these. Similar to the agent performance metrics you would have seen on the first screen, what we have here is we've taken those call categories that were identified by contact lens, and we've broken out those by agent. So if I just maybe expand all these here, here are the different categories. Here are the different agents that were working in those categories. Here are the number of calls they've answered while working in those categories. Here's their handle times. We've combined that with NPS data, CES data, and then kind of contact lens data like sentiment, agent interrupts, customer interrupts, hold time, silence. So again, we can get a deeper insight of what's happening at an agent level. And just to the right of that, we can also take those categories and use them to build up a set of adherence rules. So here in the darker blue, we have a adherence rule, which is checking how well the agents have performed at validating a customer. Equally, that might be greeting a customer, or how well they close out and conform to our rules for closing out a call. And then we can combine several of those rules together into one overall adherence category. So you can see that maybe Sean here is 85% efficient at greeting at customer validation, compared to 97% at overall adherence for group preset rules. And what we can use then is use these kind of real-time dashboards, and they can tell us areas of interest to look at, and then we can look at these over time. So if I come into here, we're inside QuickSight now. And from here, I can look at maybe, I think of some analysis here, and if I look at the lens. So as I mentioned at the start, what we do is we take, every 30 minutes, we take a snapshot of all our real-time measures, we push them out to RDS, and that allows us to build historical reports. So here's an historical report based on agent compliance. We've broken that agent down by team hierarchy, by their agent, their interval throughout the day. So we've 30-minute snapshots. And here's all those real-time metrics that we were seeing earlier on: percentage adherence, average handle time, answered, CSAT, etc. And we used a traffic light system here to emphasize areas of interest. So if I scroll down a bit, I can see here's that agent Sean we were looking at earlier on. And if I right click on this, it opens up the contact search feature from Amazon Connect, and it opens up to the interval that we were just looking at in the reports there. So the 8:30 to 9 interval, and we can see all the different calls that Sean was working on during that interval. So I get a high level view of what was happening on that call, and then I can drill down into the call to get the low level detail here. So here we've the full CTO record, we've the customer sentiment, the talk time, we can see the recording, we can play the recording, we can see the categories that were identified, we can see the whole transcript of the call. So allowing you to kind of go from that real-time view, look into the historical over time, then drill down into the actual calls themselves. Yep, the next visualization just want to show is this is something interesting that we've combined basically the real-time dashboards and information from historical. So we've embedded a historical report here into our real-time dashboards. And I'll just show you how we can, just a second, how we can emulate that. So I'm just going to go to another version of this dashboard. So here we have a dashboard, and we have all our NPS score down here on the left. And we have the call drivers that we saw earlier on. And here we've combined that with two historical data as well. So we have our product sentiment and our channel NPS. And what I can do now is I can combine that view. So if I just scroll down here, I can add in a new QuickSight widget. Now, if I come back to QuickSight, I can pick a different visualization. Okay, so I'm just going to dashboards here. So let me pick regional. And what I can do now is I can right click here, embed visual, come over here, I get a code. Now if I come back to my dashboard here. We can combine that visual here. And you can interact and move around and change it. So again, we have our real-time dashboards combined with the historical dashboards as well. Okay. Now we can also do that in reverse. I'll just come to that again. So here, what we have is example of a what you call it, a temperature sensor. I think some of the values, our data isn't updating in real time at the moment, but if I come back here, come back into QuickSight, come into temperature devices. What we have is those real-time widgets that we saw back here. We've embedded them into QuickSight down here. And I'll just show you how we can do something like that. So I'm just going to come into here with QuickSight Gallery. Here are some sample reports that we have. So here's these are just first we have some here we've taken all the metrics. We built up a Q performance report. Our agent performance report. Contact flow report. And a contact summary. Now, if I want to add in a custom or a real-time widget on this report, what I can do is just scroll down here. No, sorry, I'll repeat the process. Say I'll delete that. I will add a visual. And then what I pick here is a custom visual content. I just go customize visual and say I'll come back here and maybe I'll grab this one. Put that in here. Okay, just showing the bi-directional nature that we can combine the historical widgets inside our own real-time dashboards, and correspondingly we can combine the real-time widgets inside our historical dashboards as well. And I think just the final thing is, I think Tony had mentioned we have an integration with Salesforce. So here we have an omni view of a Salesforce. So we have different channels. We can show all the different channels here. And what I'm going to do is going to put through a live call, or in this case, a live email. And so what I'm going to do is come over here, Salesforce, and what I'm going to do is update my agent. Okay, so that's updating live. What I'm going to do is put through an email. So keep that up. I'm going to send through an email now. This takes a few moments just to come through. It'll come in here. And what's going to happen is this is going to update in real time. So this is going to increment by 1. Once the email arrives, and we're going to start working on the email, and then this is going to increment as well. And so you can see my email has arrived there. Okay, so that's incremented there. And now once I start working on it, let's make that a bit smaller. Working, save. And that's incremented there. And maybe just the final thing to show here is that is in addition to being able to embed inside QuickSight, we've also can combine live data. So here we have is we've embedded Joulica inside of Salesforce. And we can open up any dashboard and start interacting or display dashboards as necessary. Okay, I think that's it for demo screens, Tony.
Have We have about 5 minutes, just less than 5 minutes for questions. So if there's any questions, just pop them in the Q&A section. And I'll just have a look to see what ones are already there. There's one question here about contact flows and the type of metrics that we can provide on those. So actually, Joe, yeah, actually just keep that up. So what Joe's showing here is it's basic volume metrics that are available for each contact flow. And this is quite a complex visualization, but if you wanted to display this type of information, the contact flow metrics themselves, you can use any of our widget styles like bar charts, tables, etc., billboards. But the types of metrics you will get on our contact flows is, how many contacts were automated that went through flows, broken down by channel, broken down by intent, for example, as well as the volume information here. So, and then one quite common thing we see is where if you're interested in particular paths that maybe aren't an intent or isn't related to Lex, if it's maybe an A/B experiment you're running or something else that you're interested in, what percentage of customers, for example, go down a certain path in a contact flow, as long as you put a contact attribute on that path, or you maybe put a Lambda function in your contact flow to tell us, we can start giving you analytics on those types of contact flow related activities. So yeah, so we have quite a good integration from a contact flow perspective to give you additional insights. And just finally, even the channels there that Joe is showing, it's WhatsApp, iMessage, Messenger, they're being taken from contact attributes that we're picking up. In their case, they're coming in via the Amazon Connect Chat API, but we're able to break those Chat API sessions by breaking down by channel by using things like contact attributes. Okay. There's a question here related to QuickSight's. It says, I thought QuickSight does not do real-time reporting. How exactly real-time is your real-time widget within QuickSight? So what we're doing is, QuickSight has the capability to embed custom visual content. So essentially any web application, and each of our visualizations, each dashboard itself, but also each individual component of a dashboard is a uniquely addressable web application. And so it's those that we're embedding within QuickSight. And the last part of your question was, how exactly real time is it? So effectively, as soon as something changes on Connect, it normally takes Connect, if it's a Kinesis or contact or event bridge event, it's about a second or so before we get the information. And it's generally another second or so before it makes its way onto the visualization. So, we normally quote somewhere between 3 to 5 seconds before you'll see something that's happening on Connect on one of our real-time visualizations, including when that visualization is within QuickSight. There's a question here regarding custom dashboards. So generally, our goal is to train when we deploy our application for an end user. We spend time creating some dashboards to meet their needs on day one, but we also make sure that end users are trained and hence they're self-sufficient. So we put a lot of effort in making the platform and the visualization capabilities intuitive enough for business users to be able to create their own dashboards and share them with their colleagues, etc., without requiring IT involvement. Let's see now. So I think there's a question related to callback. So I'm not entirely sure what if I'm getting the question right. So apologies if I'm getting it wrong. But we have seen requirements in the past where basic KPIs on callback effectiveness, and that would be similar to how we report on contact flow. So as long as we can get basic information from Connect on callbacks, callback queues, etc. But if there's particular parts of your contact flow where you're inserting callbacks, maybe for certain types of scenarios or certain types of customers, as long as we get them through a contact attribute or a Lambda, we can report on those. So that would that would fit into the model where we can create custom metrics based on custom data that we can ingest. Okay. There's one question here relating to web. So what we've seen here is there's a lot. I think that the question is related to, can we take web data generally? So if customers on the web, for example, or maybe if a customer is making general digital related enhancements, so allowing web portal to be used by customers for self-serve, and then maybe we're offering a chat service, and if there's an interest in maybe measuring the effectiveness of the web portal to allow customers to meet their requirement versus how many of them require chat sessions to be used, or maybe even go on to call center. That would fit into the area where we can do really good customer journey analytics, and we can give you good insights on how effective each of those channels are individually, and then how customers are using them in a combined way. So let's see now. I think we're just over time, so I'm conscious that everyone is probably going to have to go on to their next meeting. So I won't answer any more questions, but feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to schedule a follow-up, including a demo if needed, if there was something you didn't see and you'd like to engage us with us. But the recording will be made available. You'll get a link. So I'll just end by thanking everyone for attending, including Dennis Parker from Amazon. It was a real pleasure to have you on with us. And I wish you the best, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day. For those in Europe, you're coming to an end. For those in the US, you're probably just starting. So listen, thanks again.